Well, this is one of my favorite cars. It belonged to my dad. He bought it used when he was in his 20s.
The 1957 Ford Thunderbird is a classic, but what's it like to own a car that's over 60 years old? Discover this owner's likes, dislikes, and find out how many stars she rates it. The Ford Thunderbird was created in response to the Corvette. The first model was introduced in 1955 and was an instant success.
Well, this is one of my favorite cars. It belonged to my dad. He bought it used when he was in his 20s. This was a hobby for him that actually started when he was a college student, buying and selling older cars, and this was one that he held on to along with his 1959 Ford Skyliner. So this is special to us, a lot of reasons.
The exterior design of the Thunderbird is striking. That long, low, stretched out profile is all about speed. The fins that terminate into the taillights only go to enhance that look. There's a couple of cool features like the removable hardtop, the porthole window, and the wraparound windows. But here's Annamarie's favorite exterior feature.
Well, I love the yellow color. I mean, this is not like a real bright taxi cab yellow. It's kind of an old-fashioned yellow. You don't really see this color on cars anymore, and it's just beautiful if you ask me.
And while it is a two-door sports car, the looks can be deceiving about its size.
Well, it's a larger car. As you can see, there's lots of metal all around it and whatnot, and that makes it hard to park, especially when you're parallel parking in a downtown area. It makes me kind of nervous.
I love the attention to detail on the inside. There's this beautiful swirl brushed finish throughout on the dashboard and on the door panels. The steering wheel has a neat Thunderbird logo at the center. Not only are the seats stylish, but they are actually quite comfortable.
Oh, it's very comfortable. When I sit in it and somebody else is driving, I feel like there's a lot of room, the seats are comfortable. It wouldn't be bad to take this car long distance. Of course, we wouldn't do that, but it's very comfortable inside.
Under the hood is a 292 cubic inch V8 producing 198 horsepower and 282 pound-feet of torque. Some pretty impressive numbers for that time. The power dome on the hood gives a clue to its performance. That engine was paired to a manual or automatic transmission. So, how does it drive?
It actually drives pretty smooth for its age. You don't feel the road too much. I mean, when you start it up, you hear a lot of noise and whatnot, but when you're riding down the street, it feels very comfortable, almost like a modern car.
But it's not all like a modern car. There are some things that'll feel different.
Well, it's hard to drive this car because it's not like cars today that have power steering. It takes a lot of work. It's hard to park. It's hard to navigate. So I prefer not to do driving long distance because of the lack of power steering.
And with it being over 60 years old, you'll want to be super careful with it.
Yeah, because of its age, it is a little bit older. You don't see cars like this on the road anymore because they don't run as far as they do. It would take a lot of money to really get this to the state where we could drive it far. It also has quite a few miles on it, so it is fragile, and when we park it, we don't want any fender benders, accidents, dings, anything like that. So we just have to be a little more careful.
So, what advice does Annamarie have for someone looking to buy a 60-year-old Thunderbird?
To buy a car like this, you're going to have to put time and money into it. I'm not going to lie to you. It is expensive to own antique cars. When my dad was in his prime and really working with his cars, it did cost money. They had to be kept clean. They had to be kept covered. And the ideal buyer for this should be somebody who has the time and the money and who has experience with cars of this caliber.
And how many stars does she rate it?
I'd give it a 5-star just because it's so special to us and it was really important to my dad. He wanted it to be kept in the family. He wanted us to hold on to this car. So I'd give it a 5 just because it runs so well and it's very dear to us. Hopefully someday we can get it refurbished just so we can take it short distance.
Please be sure to give the video a like, take a look at our other owner reviews, and subscribe to The Driver Download.